Hi teachers, this is the instructional guide for Primary 3, Term 4, Week 3. For this week, I prepared 4 booklets. However, to the teacher who is teaching the first class, right, of this lesson, do let me know if you find it difficult to get to the book, to get the book 4. We can always just do book 3, but as I look through the materials, I think it is fairly easy. So very likely to be able to do 4, but if you can't, please let me know so that I'll let the other teachers know as well. Okay, so for book 1, they're going to start by identifying angles. So you can teach based on the material that's being presented here, right? Get them to identify where the angle is. And one thing they notice is that the angle will always have a corner there, right? A sharp corner. Okay, so this is one way, right, for them to know. And typically at the conclusion of this, right, is that an angle is created when 2 lines touch, right, at some point. So if you look at this illustration here, the 2 lines touch at this point and therefore creating this angle. Okay, so you need to make sure that they understand this clearly, right? So you can go take this through with them. Where are the angles, right? In fact, there can be another angle here as well, right? Look at it, right? Another angle here, right? As long as there are 2 lines that touch. Okay, continue with this. Okay, other examples of angles. I don't really like this, right? Because we talk about straight lines, but the knee and the calf are unfortunately not straight lines. You can, maybe tell the students a bit about this, but otherwise the rest are okay. Okay, so these are angles. Okay, so other activities that you can do is do the guided practice. Okay, get them to circle the pair of lines that form an angle. So remember the principle there, right? The angle is created when 2 lines meet, right, or touch, right, at a certain point. So all these are when the 2 lines meet. This one didn't touch it, right? So angle is not created. Okay. Other than that, right, they can do others. Each pair of lines marked with an angle. Okay. If the students are smart enough to do this, it is an angle as well, actually, right? But let's not confuse them at this point in time. Okay, so let's not teach them this. However, right, if they do it, you may tell the other student it is correct, but at this point, right, P3 or at this stage, right, they don't have to worry about it first. Okay, get them to do the guided practice, and then after that, move on to naming angles. For this particular lesson here, basically they need to know what is an obtuse angle and what is an acute angle. Right, so acute angle is basically anything that is less than the right angle, 90 degrees. All right, so they may not have learned the degrees yet. They have not used the protractor yet, but let them know that it is less than less than the right angle, and then obtuse angle is more than a right angle. Right, so this is right angle, 90 degrees. Okay, and they mark this right angle by doing a small square here. Okay, so this needs to be taught to the student. Okay. All right. Now, and then for a shape like this, okay, they can have different angles, right? In shapes, you can see that. Okay, so there are 2 right angles here, one obtuse, one acute. Okay, so different one. After that, you can get them to do the practice. Okay, now take note to emphasize that they read these, right? Angles in each shape, which means they are only looking at angles inside the shape. Because in future, students will have to mark out angles, right, even outside the shape as well. But here the emphasis is on in, so they just mark out in. Any, except any 2 right angles mark, right? So do go through this with them. After that, questions are quite straightforward, but perhaps get them to do question 4, right? Ask them how many angles are there in the shape. I think many will still get wrong, right? The correct answer is no angles. Why? Because they are not straight lines. Okay. All right. Now, then I would say skip a bit and just do question. Yeah, let's do page 13, ENF. Okay, so for them to practice identifying acute angles, which is less than a 90-degree angle, less than the right angle, and practice finding the obtuse angles as well, which is greater than a right angle. Okay, And then the last question for them to do that you might want to work together as class is number 16, because that will prepare them to draw angles as well. Okay, so here they have to draw two different shapes with two right angles. Okay, and then accept any answer is right. Any correct answers according to the shapes that they have drawn. Okay, for the second booklet, okay, they are supposed to do perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines create right angles, right? So this is when two lines meet, right, and create this right angle here, 90 degrees. So give them some examples of where the 90 degrees are, right? There's also 90 degrees here as well. All right, here they may not be able to see it, but it's actually also 90 degrees. Okay, so we don't want to confuse them, but you can briefly mention, because this is a three-dimensional figure. If it is turned around, this is actually 90 degrees. Okay, some more examples here. How do you indicate that the lines are perpendicular to each other? You draw this square thing. Okay, or when you write, right, to explain which you write AB is perpendicular. This is a perpendicular symbol you use, right? Perpendicular symbol that basically shows a 90 degree formed by two straight lines touching. Okay, so very straightforward here, right? Get them to finish the guided practice. Okay, next is parallel lines. Parallel lines are when two lines are always the same distance apart wherever you measure them. Okay, and that they do not meet. Very importantly, I tell them, if you continue to draw the line, it will not meet. All right, so this one, right, if you're unsure, ask them, project. If you continue to draw a line straight, draw a line straight, right? If it meets, these lines are not parallel. Okay, so how do you mark parallel lines? Use these symbols for lines that are parallel. And you can see here, one is with a single arrow, right? So it means that these two lines are parallel. This one is using two arrows, right, instead of one, because if you use one, then it's saying that this is parallel, this is wrong. So it's 2 against 2. Okay, get them practice, guided practice. And I think independent practice is quite clear cut. So perhaps get them to, oh, this is a reminder of perpendicular, right, and parallel. But perhaps I would say get them to do 14, because they get to name, this is turns out how well they remember what perpendicular is, right? Which line is perpendicular to EF? Okay, 90 degrees. And then use a symbol to state which lines are parallel to which. Oh, sorry, perpendicular. I beg your pardon. Okay, and then we do the parallel one on. So do page 14 and 15. Okay, and then after that, book 3. Okay, book 3 is on drawing perpendicular lines. I will remind the student to bring the geometry set. Okay, bring along their set square. Okay, I'll remind them to do that so that you can draw. In case they don't have 2 set square, you can always use 2 rulers to draw as well. All right, so you can get them to demonstrate, try drawing it. So this one, instead of teaching in class, all right, drawing on the whiteboard, which is challenging, just get them to draw on the paper, right? Get a blank piece of paper and get them to draw a perpendicular line using a set square. Okay, then they can do the guided practice here. Okay, and then after that, I think independent practice is quite clear cut. You may want to just skip and go to do page 10. Lines given to them. Now they need to draw JK, right? Through point J, okay, which it has cut through and to create a perpendicular line. Right, so J is here. So through means that you have a cut through. Right? Versus this one here, IJ perpendicular to GH. Right, so here they can just draw J here. Right, so there's a difference between yeah, right. So okay, let's see. After that, you can get them to do one on perpendicular. Sorry, parallel. Wait, no, this is perpendicular, I'm sorry. Right, perpendicular, okay, and then basically all these are perpendicular. Okay, just get them to do one more and then that's it. And then you can move on to group parallel lines, drawing parallel lines. Okay, so here they can use a set square to draw parallel lines as well. Okay, show them how to do it on paper. Do the guided practice. Okay, get them to the parallel line, to draw the parallel lines. Okay, copy. Let's see. Yeah, maybe a few questions of this. Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? I think more or less is to test the understanding of which lines parallel. So this one can be a bit challenging, right? For this special question here, especially when there are so many lines to see here. So what they can do is they can actually use a set square to help them find out which are the parallel lines. Okay. So again, if you find that it's a bit too challenging, you may actually stop here, right? And not assign, if you are not able to cover everything on the fourth booklet, okay, you can stop here, collect the booklet. No need to assign homework, right? For booklet. You think that is too challenging for the student. All right, that's it for this week's topic.